How do you feel about flag burning? Should people who burn flags be persecuted? Would burning a flag be appropriate in protest?
I don't think so.
Mm,
Honestly, like there's a limit. I mean, freedom of speech is freedom of speech, but like burning your flag, like if you hate it so much, like why are you here? You know?
Get packing.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like like the shirt.
I'll be back.
Like if this flag triggers you, I'll help you pack. Like it's corny. The shirt is corny,
it's
but
right.
it has some truth to
That's
it.
right. Yeah.
Like people get offended by it, and that's like the weirdest thing because like we're in the country, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Like
like,
have respect.
When was it wrong to be like a patriot, you know? Like, obviously, yes, our country has flaws, obviously, right? But, like, dude, it's the best country to be in, dude.
Mhm.
Like, dude, I would not have any of these opportunities in fucking Mexico, bro.
Yeah.
At all.
Here,
That's
here.
true.
Look, take this for example. If your parents were immigrants and you come here burning the flag, and that's total disrespect for them because they had to take their time to try and get into this country, and you're over here saying it isn't worth anything to you because you're over here burning the flag, the symbol of.
And lately, this has been a big issue, dude. Like, you know how many friends I have that will just give the easy response of, like, fuck America, like, this country's, like, shitty. It's like, it's,
Yeah, that's automatic.
it's like, okay, so what are you doing to help us then,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I know. Like
Like,
just complaining. Like
Yeah,
they want to
just-
get like.
And sometimes they won't even know what they're complaining about. They'll just hear like some sad story and be like,
mainstream stuff.
yeah, and they'll just be like, oh.
Yeah, that gets to the point where like the Twitter. Oh my
Mainstream
god.
media. Okay.
Mainstream social media is like
Is the big influencer on.
on Twitter. That guy just told me.
And,
But here-
and like the
Anyway,
biggest problem right now,
we could go beat him up right now. Let's do it. All right. Anyway,
it's the very left, you know?
dude. Yeah. So it's like
You
what
guys
they
are
call
calm.
like libtard. It's like an offensive term.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some truth where like people just like they're so absorbed in their own little circle, and like they're not really educated, you know. They're not really educated in the topic, but they talk so much crap and like so much stuff, but they can't do anything to change it. They take whatever information they see from the social media, which is almost like 70% like wrong, you know.
Right, dude, the radical left, they are like one of the biggest problems right now, along with like the radical right too.
Yeah.
But the radical left right now,
What's radical right?
what would you say something? Everyone carries a gun.
Yeah.
Everyone gets to have a gun. Okay, well, back to what I was saying. Radical left is they like promote closed mindsets.
They promote a lot of like the whole Donald Trump situation about I saw this kid he wore a MAGA hat
Yeah,
into
the
his Zoomies,
Oh,
and then the
he got
employee
beat up
started
for it.
like cussing at him. He threw his hat and was like yelling at him and cussing at him, and like the kid didn't do anything.
dude.
So it's like that. It's like the left is like so absorbed in like I think it's like this like constant fear, and
Obviously-
insecurity.
Obviously, the MAGA hat can serve as a vehicle for like hate. It obviously can, right?
Yeah.
But that's not like that's again the people.
It doesn't give
Who
you a
use-
ticket to like
Yeah, it
do
doesn't-
something. To
Yeah. Since when does your free speech get to like shut out other people's free speech?
Yeah.
Like
That's good.
the point of free speech is to be able to have stupid thoughts, you know, stupid thoughts, and that's how you get stuff done. You get
Like when you have some thoughts, it's open to criticism too.
Yeah.
Both sides. There's no real. We shouldn't
But
really.
some people can't take criticism.
They
That's the
can't.
problem.
Yeah.
There's a real problem where we kind of have this saturation of like one party in one group,
Mhm.
and then another party in another group,
It's
and
a-
then there's no real mixing.
We're
There's-
playing sides.
We're dividing ourselves.
Yeah, we're playing sides, and we're too focused on like trolling the other side that we don't get anything done. We don't compromise. We don't take steps forward.
And we don't acknowledge the things that are correct about the other side.
Yeah, it's
in
like
our own flaws.
we don't even consider our common goal anymore. Like they're-
Exactly. We're not like the United States. We're liberal or
Or
conservative.
conservative, yeah. That's the first. That should be, in my opinion, when you find out about somebody's party, that should be like one of the last things you find out about
Yeah.
someone. You know, that should be like the thing you stumble upon, like at a random party. You know, oh, I didn't know you were conservative, or I didn't know you were liberal.
And then you discuss it.
Yeah,
But you don't change your
you're
perspective.
liberal?
but you debate, you don't argue.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're liberal.
I don't think like you.
That's what
We're
I'm
not
saying.
alike.
You need to have stupid
Okay.
thoughts for
But
stuff
that's
to get
okay.
done.
Yeah.
What do you think about
Yeah.
that one?
Oh look, we were talking about flag burning. Why did we end up here?
Because it ties into like the lack of patriotism, the lack of like self like respect and like Like if you want to change this country, you got to start by like loving this country and accepting and being grateful for what this country's provided.
No, and
And it's flawed, but guess what? It's our job to fix. It's a country still under construction, and it's our job to keep building on. You know?
Yeah. No, and with that, like people who say, "Oh, this country's bad. Why am I even here?" Like, at least you're not in places like South America where you're living in a shack with like 10 people and you have constant threats of like people coming and just murdering you for money. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, let's be like, okay, racism is it sucks. It really does suck, but it is
I just found out
legal.
about
It's
racism.
damn,
It-
just found out.
It is completely. The Supreme Court completely supports hate speech as long as it doesn't like
incite violence.
incite violence. And honestly, yeah, racism sucks. And I think the only way that's gonna disappear, and I don't think it'll disappear.
It's never gonna disappear in my
that-
opinion.
Racism sucks.
And guess, that's just gonna have to be part. It's gonna be a necessary evil that is a thing that people are allowed to express hate for another race. And honestly, I get how that might open the door for other people to get into that. But the only way to beat racism is just time.
Yeah.
Generations will end up changing their mindsets.
What do you think?
It's so
Juan?
possible.
What do you think about the
Racism
whole-
will become like a not a big issue.
Oh my god. I don't think I should say it. 'Cause
Just say it.
Speak
Just
around.
say it.
Political discourse. It's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
we have to be open.
discourse.
We have to be open to hearing what you say. You
You
know?
have- yeah.
Alright.
No matter how much we disagree.
Okay, so as you guys know, there were slaves back in the day, and the slaves we had in the United States of America were like primary black people,
And
these-
Irish people.
Irish people as well. They were low.
I mean, I'm not just saying that, but that
Yeah.
also, if you want to think whatever.
Yeah. Well, in our constitution, there were like 3/5 a person to vote. All their history in this country has been of hate towards them, and I think it'll take a while until like anything is done about it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
Like
About like racism.
I'm sure their parents teach them like the history and why they're mad about it, right? So it kind of continues to grow. They have to like maybe if they accept slavery, maybe we can move forward. But I'm sure they won't. 'Cause it's like
so you're trying to say like
bad.
that African American population tends to hold, like obviously it's a rightful grudge,
Yeah,
but
it
they,
is a super
they are
rightful
not willing to
grudge.
work together with like.
Maybe.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, but it is like like I'm the bad guy for saying that.
You know, you bringing up that kind of makes. I think we gotta really like consider like what you mentioned earlier, like about you mentioned something about like, oh, we should be grateful that we're in the United
Yeah.
States because you know people who are not naturally from here had to like journey here, go through a lot of hardship. Well, I mean, you can't really say the same thing about African American people
They were forced.
because they were forced here
Or native.
or native. Well, I mean,
no, natives
got
were forced
fucked
on.
over, man.
No, natives were forced on.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm trying to say is like, people who didn't have a choice that had to come here, I feel like you can't put them in that category of like, oh, you should be grateful you're
Yeah.
here, like this is the best country.
Yeah.
ever. Like they probably more than anyone should have like a say in like societal issues, like like oh like I didn't even want to be here, like like I was cool there, but you guys fucking brought me here and you guys are still treating me like shit.
Yeah.
Like people who it's fucked up because like after that all happened they were given their like what was it 40 acres
Yeah,
and, like
and a mule.
and a mule
Yeah.
like now
It's like here you go.
yeah
sorry,
it's
we
like,
fucking like killed a couple of you and like enslaved the rest of you.
yeah and it's like I've heard a saying like oh where's that then like where's my mule where's my
Where's
40
my
acres?
compensation now?
Yeah
Because they are still oppressed. They will continue to be systematically
But
oppressed.
they are free. They are free.
They are not chained up, yeah, but they're in a way they are trapped.
Yeah. I think this whole solution, I mean, there isn't really a solution to any like conflict and divide, but I think people just have to accept each other, honestly. Like, there's a reason that people have certain, opinions about certain stuff, and you should just accept it because, I mean, no one's really the center. Of
Like
the
accept our
universe.
differences, but be willing to work together.
Yeah.
you say senator of the
No,
universe
center. No one's the center of the universe. Like, the world doesn't revolve around one person, so everyone's different. You cannot really say like, you cannot not really.
Yeah, so like deal with your differences, but like always come together for like a common goal, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, on that topic, what do you guys think about like, say there being a club at school, primarily only for African Americans to join. Do you guys think that's a good idea? Or should-
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
good.
It makes people feel involved.
Because I agree with that.
I mean, and another thing you gotta understand, like, there's a huge like identity crisis
Mm-hmm.
because that's a big thing about like what Malcolm X was kind of like going for.
Yeah.
He changed his last name to X because his last name wasn't really his last name. Like, think about it. Like, that's somewhere down the line that was like his
It was
slave master's
placed on
name.
him. Oh yeah, you're right.
And you know, having clubs like that really helps you to understand like your own history, your own culture.
Yes.
And
You know,
makes-
if
At
you
the
look
same
at
time, like, think about it. Look, if we have a black club, like, can we have like an only white club at school? You know?
you can't.
That'd be, huh?
I mean,
I mean, I don't think
That'd be
you
so
can-
weird.
I don't think the
Society
word,
will accept it.
I don't think white would be good, but I think
It'd be
maybe like
white power.
German, like a German club,
Yeah.
like a Dutch club,
Like foreign,
like you know what I mean, like a certain thing.
like European.
Because at the end of the day, what is white?
Caucasian.
White is like I'm white, but
Caucasian.
I'm Polish, I'm Irish, I'm
Yeah.
a few different things.
I guess because you don't lack as a white man, you don't really lack that identity, you know. But dude, talking about like Malcolm X, I mean, like Martin Luther King, dude, he like promoted like being like integrated into American culture. Like he like that like the black culture. He was not so worried about preserving that. He wanted people to like integrate into American society and American norms, social norms. And so like, is that do you think that's right or wrong? I mean, I think I saw PragerU talk about this. PragerU was talking about how if they could build their perfect school, they wouldn't have clubs divided by race or classes divided by race or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because it obviously they want everyone just in one group, right? But I think obviously in a class scenario you want diversity. But when it comes to like extracurricular activities like clubs and stuff, I think it is necessary to have. Because think about it, school is like your second home, you know.
Yeah.
You go to it for so long, it's like a second environment for you. So, and as a student, you are not the same person you are at home. You want to be able to share your ideas with other people in your life. And when you join up with similar people with similar struggles, you guys are able to like communicate those struggles and work with each other because you guys both relate. And so I think lacking that sort of like bubble that you insert yourself into, that's just gonna make these people with these problems just suppress them and like not be able to express them.
And another thing, like I feel like all of us can relate when we I mean, most of us, if we don't know exactly what we are, we could like Adil, you're really interested to see what your ethnicity was. And, you know, I feel like I'd be wrong in saying, like, you weren't interested to learn more about your ethnicity.
What?
Like, you know, remember the 23andMe thing?
Yeah.
Like, you're interested in your ethnicity.
Yeah.
And you're probably interested in learning more about that stuff. Like, about
Yeah.
what culture, you know. I feel like that's something that's, you know, inherent in everyone. And when that's not, like, readily available to you, you're going to want these clubs. You're going to want, like, to be with people you know or that are similar to you because you want to find out who you are, like who your family was, who, you know, generations are, why my skin is darker than your skin, or like why my skin's lighter than your skin. You know, that history isn't always good, but I feel like it's necessary for us to know like, about our history and be interested in our own history.
True.
Big facts.
Any last?
So, you guys want to close this topic?
Is this a burning flag topic?
Yeah. Somehow it tied into ethnicity, but all it's a good, nice.